Yummy. Come on. Do you even eat your food? Come here. Come here. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Knit Crochet Read Repeat podcast channel. My name is Kirby. My pronouns are they, them. And I am coming to you from a gloriously sunny Paisley, which is just a stone's throw away from Glasgow in Scotland. So yeah, good morning or afternoon or good evening, whenever you're watching this. I have started the day off with cleaning. The cuddle chair really needed cleaned off of all the stuff I throw on it and then anything Scott puts on top of it. So I had a bag of like just random balls of yarn. I had multiple different projects and I tried to like pile my projects up here, and you'll see like there's some hats and stuff as well. Some of my accessories sit here as well. I guess that is a photo of Oogie wearing a Batman mask. So it's going to be really good to get the cuddle chair cleaned off so that we can actually use it. Sometimes Oogie likes to steal my seat. She likes to steal your butt heat. She does it to Scott as well, but for some reason she particularly likes me. I think it's because like I'm her favourite human. I'm not being like braggy when I say that. It's like I'm obviously home more than Scott is, so she's had a bigger chance to bond with me. But yeah, I now need to find places for the stuff I have moved. Some of them are going to be a lot easier than others. Like I don't know where to store the shawl I finished, because I don't know if I'm going to keep it for myself. And then once we get all of that tidied away, it's just going to be a chill and craft type of day. I need to get my 2 squares done on my Coziest Memories blanket. I have finished my 2nd square for the Radvent Radvent blanket. So I'd like to maybe get at least another 1 of those done. But I want to start a new crochet project. So 100% putting the blame on this one to Maddie of the House of Langford. and she brought along the Inside Crochet magazine to our last craft group meetup. And on the cover is the crochet version of a knitted sweater that I really want to do, but I know I keep bringing it up, but knitting is just a bit hit or miss for me right now. If you've been watching, if you're new to the channel, hello, I do have multiple chronic illnesses, and right now they are affecting my hands. So crochet just seems to be something I can do without too much problems. Fingers crossed that stays that way. But yeah, so I'll show you that once I move around, because the magazine is literally behind the camera and I'm not gonna get like real up close and personal. Nobody needs that much of a close-up of my head or my face. So yeah, another thing I want to do today is I want to get the last section of the wing done on my dragon. I have 2 sections here, and they do, like, I've got 2 of each, and these ones kind of line up like that, and these fit really good, even though this is a slightly thicker DK yarn than this DK. And then I started the 3rd section again on a slightly thicker DK like the first one, and it's just so much longer. Like, the section is so much longer because I think I must have crocheted a very loose tension, and so it doesn't sit up the side of this second section. Like, it goes well past the end of this section. It comes to like here, and they're all meant to line up, they're meant to join, because it's the wings. Like, this is what these are gonna join up to be. So I need to work on my tension for that one, and if that doesn't work out, I'm gonna have to rethink all of the sections, which is gonna suck, but it is what it is. So it's gonna be quite a craft heavy day, hopefully, if my fingers I always have, like, I can cross these ones just fine. I can't do it on my right hand for some reason. So fingers crossed, it's going to be a craft heavy day and I'm going to get a lot accomplished. That would be lovely. It's also sunny. I have the windows open. I'm seeing some grey clouds coming in though, so it might not be sunny for long. So let's enjoy it while we can. It was absolutely chucking it down yesterday. Scott and I got caught in an absolute downpour, and we had like the heating on in the car to kind of dry off because we weren't local. We were down visiting my parents, and we just got absolutely caught in a downpour. I was so cold. I'm very glad I haven't caught a cold because of it, but hey ho. So we're gonna enjoy the sunshine whilst it's here. And yeah, at some point I'll make another cup of tea. I've already had one, and I'm going to try and entice Oogie into eating her breakfast. She was very vocal to tell me she was hungry, put down the food, and she walked away. It's just what she does. So yeah, let's see how much crafting I get done today. You not speaking to me? You ignoring me? Oh, I'm getting the silent treatment. That was an angry tail thrash if I ever saw one. Oogie. Why are you not talking to me? Come here. Hi. Oh, you're toasty. I got the third part of the wings for the sleeping crochet dragon completed, and I've done them at a much tighter gauge than what I done the original one. And I know I've done it in a tighter gauge because this is what's left of the ball from the first one. Like, I'd cut the yarn and this is what is left. So I'd made the original one considerably bigger, and I've now made both of them. So I have all 3 parts of the wing, and I'm going to move on to the Coziest Memories blanket now and hopefully at least get one of my squares done. I eventually got the second square from last week done throughout the week. I think I got it maybe like Wednesday night or Thursday night. I have to put a wrist splint on and to be able to knit. So I need to grab my splint and then pick my yarn. I actually haven't picked my yarn for today, so I'm going to do that. I also need to figure out if I've used these 2 in the blanket so far, and if I haven't, it's going to go into this box here, which is all the yarn for the secret project. So yeah, excuse me. I feel like I'm doing really well today in my crafting. It is 12:30, I think it was, when I started recording. And so I'm feeling pretty good. I'm glad I got the cuddle chair tidied up. It's been nice to sit here, but I'm going to move and maybe draw one of the curtains shut because I feel like I'm just going to end up with sunburn. But yeah, I'm just going to quickly figure out if these have been in the Coziest Memories blanket before. I have a feeling that they have, and if they are, I'm just going to slot them straight into this container box thing so that they're out of the way and they're not going to get messed up, because this is slowly growing in size. I might need to just ball it up again. But yeah, pick my yarn for that. Hopefully get at least 1 square done. I'll be happy with 1 square, but 2 would be preferable. But I'm just listening to an audiobook whilst I craft. I'm listening to Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. I started reading this on my Kindle, and I don't know, I got hints of like horror, and I was like, no thank you. I don't really do horror or thriller or suspense books. I like my fantasy, I like my romance, I like my romantasy books. I get, like, I can feel my anxiety increase when I watch, listen, read like horror stuff. Like I either read or listened to The Housemaid. Is that what it's called? By Frida McFarlane. And I could feel like my heart rate going and my anxiety kicking in, and I was just like, oh no. I finished the book, like I got it finished, but that really kind of like solidified for me that that's not my genre. So I've checked, and Starling House is not horror, it's not suspense, it's not thriller. Apparently it's fantasy and romance, so I'll see how that progresses. But I don't know, listening to it is going a lot better than reading, so we will see. I normally get through a lot more books when I'm listening to the audio version. I just finished Fall of Ruin and Wrath by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I did enjoy it. It ends on a cliffhanger. The next book isn't out, even though it came out in 2023. And I do feel like it's almost very similar in storyline to her from Blood and Ash and Flesh and Fire series. So I will be quite curious to see how the other book or books progress if she ever releases them. I hate when you start a book and then you realize it's part of a series and the series isn't out yet. Like, it's okay if the books are out, but these books haven't even been released yet. So I generally thought it was like a wee standalone because, like I said, the book came out in 2023. So you would think 3 years later, no other book, it's a standalone, but it's not. So yeah, I'm gonna go pick my yarn. I'm gonna continue on with my audiobook, and I'll check in and let you know how the audiobook's going, but I'll also show you the yarn I end up picking. So I've just grabbed my blanket and I can confirm that both of these have been in the blanket. So I'm just gonna redo this pinky purple one and hold it double if I can find the inside. Oh, I'm just gonna make such a mess. I've made yarn barf. So yeah, I've got my 2 cauldrons out as well to try and pick my yarns, but I also know that there is a project bag somewhere here with yarns that have been, I think, in this project. So it's kind of a little bit annoying that I have so much yarn at so many different places and then trying to remember, like, have I used it in this project before or not? Like, does this only go in a different project? So I really want to try and stay on top of that to make my life easier and not constantly have to pull projects out to be like, have you been in this project? Do you only need to go in this one going forward? And I think now, because I'm also trying to get the Radvent blanket done, I'm just adding a 3rd project into the mix. Like, could it go in this one? So, like, because technically I could have made a Radvent square in this pinky purple. Probably wouldn't, but that's just my choice. I'm not a huge pale pink fan. But yeah, sometimes I annoy myself because I've certainly not made my life easier by having so many scrappy projects on the go. Okay, so we got our 2 squares for last week done. You saw the blue one, you did not see this one. It turned out really nice. So I want to try and maybe, I don't know, the next square is like multiple colors in one. Like, that was a self-striping yarn. So we need a solid or a tonal. So let's get the correct cauldron. And I like to try and keep it unplanned as possible, but I also like to just make sure that there's not the same color right beside each other or up and down or diagonally across. So I can't go with yellow and I can't go with purple, and I don't really want too many of the same colors. Like, there's yellow in that one, but it's mostly like a kind of grey and like a wine color. So maybe we could just go bright blue, like a bright turquoise. So bright turquoise for that one. Or, no, we can't, I don't want to go red. There's pink underneath it. Yep, let's not overthink it. We're going to go turquoise. And then what variegated yarn will I pick? So what we got? Next color is green. It doesn't help that things are slowly tangling in here. I thought I had like a really good, hey, is that yarn? I've used that yarn. Okay, so that can go in the bucket. What are we gonna use? Do you know what we're gonna use? We're gonna use either, no, we can't use that one. So, oh, right. Let's put the cauldron down before everything falls. Oh my goodness. There's so much stuff. Where's the bag? Found it. Okay, so we're gonna go with this one. This was the first new Radvent square, which I think is here. So we're gonna go with this one. This is how it kind of knits up. That's gonna be our next color, because I think a lot of these are variegated, and I'm not running low, but I also just don't have a huge amount. So we've picked our color. Let's get knitting. I have finished the 2 squares for my Coziest Memories blanket, and they are looking good. It helps if I show you the right side. So that's the blue, and then that's the one I made my newest or next lot of squares for the Radvent blanket. So it's now been used in both of these. So it's been wound double and put into the box that I was discussing earlier. So I'm still on track. I wonder, is it 8 or 9 squares extra that I needed to do through the year? I know I'm 1 ahead. Basically, I think if I keep this going, I'm going to be 1 ahead every time I get towards the end of a row, because I've got 13 squares in my row. And so unless I want to finish with just 1 square needed, I'm always going to put that extra one on. So I got a feeling that's how I would do my extras throughout the years. Every time I get to that one that's left, I'll just pop that extra one in as part of that week. Earlier on I mentioned Inside Crochet and lovingly blamed Maddie of House of Langford for the fact that I really want to do this project, and it's this piece here. So this is issue 187, and it's called the Star Patchwork Jacket. I read what that was, but I didn't look at the page number. 48. So this is so similar to a knitted version that you can find online, and that one's like a lot more cropped with full length sleeves, whereas this one appears to be kind of like a standard length but with cropped sleeves, and you could probably work on making that a wee bit smaller. I'm trying to decide if I like how wide the sleeves are as well, so some things I might want to try and tweak. Let's see. But yeah, so maybe a little cropped. You could do the ribbing just a little bit longer, and then it's quite a wide open front cardigan. I don't actually think there's any buttons mentioned, but that's nothing to stop you putting them in. But yeah, I really like it. This kind of style of like quilted crochet is really popular at the moment, and I do have a pattern in my queue for a blanket version basically, and I might get to that eventually, but I really think I want to go upstairs and yarn dive for this project, and I'm not 100% sure what yarn I want to use. Part of me really kind of likes the idea of doing the 28 mini skeins, so it's like looking for 20-gram mini skeins, but you need 28 of them. And then for this one, it seems to be, I don't know, I was gonna say, I really need to like read the project a bit better, read the pattern, but it says here like 20-gram mini skeins, 28 of them, but 85 meters per skein, and then it wants one, well, it doesn't have to be one ball, but basically 425 meters of another color. So, but by the looks of it, like that other color isn't used as like in every full square, but it does seem to be a lot of the ribbing and then used in the motifs as well. So this star patchwork jacket is by Kath Weber. It is looking for 4-ply weight or sock skeins. And yeah, I just think it's really cute. I'm curious to see if I can tweak the sizing a little bit just to get smaller sleeves, because it gives you 3 sizing options. It says size 1 fits a UK 6 to 10, size 2 fits a UK 12 to 18, and then a size 3 fits an 18 to 24. And the model is a UK 14 to 16 and wearing a size 2, and it is quite clearly like oversized on her. So I'm curious to see. I don't know, I don't like how baggy the sleeves are, but I love this project, so that's something I keep thinking about. And then there's another one in here, which is the Ellis Slipover, which is this one here, which I think is absolutely lovely. Let's see if it'll focus. Maybe? No. So yeah, I've got some things to read up on, because I don't think this might be DK. I think it might actually be heavier than a DK, because it's calling for a size 5 and 6 millimeter hook. So I may go upstairs and go through some of my yarn. I'm sorry, Oogie's just ever so patiently sat by her water bowl, but just not drinking. Oogie, you okay over there? Anyway, so I've got the wings done for the dragon. I've got my 2 squares done on my Radvent blanket. Tempted to snow. 2 squares done on my Coziest Memories blanket. Tempted to start another square for the Radvent blanket, but part of me also just wants to go back to crocheting. So I'm trying to wonder, do I start the squares for the star, I've forgotten the name of it already, star patchwork jacket, or do I keep going on my charity fundraiser blanket? Because I've been putting some good progress on that. I think I have 3 hours left on the last chart, and then after that I have 13 hours worth of work to get the last section finished, and then I have the whole border, which I have no idea how long that will take me. Probably quite a while. So I think I'm gonna go look through some yarn, see what takes my fancy, because I don't know if I just want to do like 2 colors instead of like the mishmash patchwork style, which I don't have an issue with. I'm just trying to be smart, because I have found that weaving in ends and holding a needle is actually really painful. So I said that to a friend last night. It's just like, I am not making excuses, because I promised myself when I was working on my small squares crochet blanket that whenever I finished the second round for a group of squares, so I feel like I'm going to overcomplicate this when I could just get the box and show you, but I've got like, I want to say like 23 different colours, and I would group the 23 single rounds, every different colour, into one grouping, and then I would take one colour and I would do the second round in the same colour for all of those 23. And I promised myself when I'd done this project, when I'd finished a group, I would weave in all the ends before I move on to the next group and the next colour for that second round. And I got a group finished with the round, and then I went to start sewing it in, and just that motion of holding such a fine needle was turning out to be extremely painful, and I wasn't able to do more than like 2 squares. And so I've promised myself I'm not going to pick that project up, because the last thing I want to do is end up with like 100 squares that all need 4 ends woven in, because I've got 2 for the first round and then I'd have 2 for the second round. So part of me, I've just realised that's all redundant, because it doesn't matter if I use like 28 mini grams, I'm still going to have the same number of ends regardless. So just ignore everything I've just said. Oh man, I did not sleep as good as I wanted to last night. I went to bed later than I thought, and I woke up a lot earlier than I thought because I had a oogie sized weight on my feet. She's just sitting like that. Yes, you did. Every morning I wake up and she's on my feet, or like at my legs, in between my legs. She sits down. That's her. She's like, I'm not moving. You're comfortable. You're warm. I don't care if I'm making you feel claustrophobic or overheated because of my additional weight. She just kind of finally looked up at me like, I know you're talking about me. Anyway, let's go yarn hunting. Let's go see what we can find. I think also part of me just really doesn't want to wind up 28 mini grams. Like mini skeins, when I could just find the equivalent in like a full skein of yarn. I know, I'm being lazy, but let's go see what I have. I am in my office / craft room, and I'm hand holding the camera, so apologies for the shaking. And before I came up, I went through my stash on Ravelry. One of the best things I've done is probably get that updated. And hang on, I'm going to move you on to something so that you're not going to shake so much. I hope this is a bit better, but you're also now low and you're tilted, so we'll make do with what we've got. I had originally gone through my Ravelry stash when, again, one of the best things I've ever done is actually just take the time. You can protest all you want. Sorry, if you don't talk to your cats, are you really a cat person or a pet? Like, talk to your pets. So I'd gone through my stash and I was considering selecting the Knit Picks palette that I've got, because I've got a lot of it. And then I came up here and I opened the door to my yarn cupboard, and then I was just like, nope, that's a task for another day. Opened the cupboard to the wardrobe where some of my other yarn is, and again that was a whole situation of nope, let's deal with that another day. And then in this corner over here there is a bunch of yarn I was considering getting rid of, and a whole bunch of that is host yarn, and I've never really given this yarn a shot, like a chance. Hi, do you want pets? Is that why you nudged me so hard? And I don't know why the accent came in there. I genuinely don't care if I make this and I don't like the feel of this yarn. I just want to make it. Like, I think a big part of my mentality has shifted. I wish you could see her. You can just see her tail. She is nudging so hard for attention right now. There's some things I want to make because I really, really want the finished results. And yes, I do want the finished result of this, but I'm also just genuinely not convinced about the fit. I love a good balloon sleeve. Like, I really do. I don't mind when it's huge and then it tapers down really, really fast. But I don't know if this project would suit that type of sleeve. Right, come on, away from the yarn. I don't know who's getting this at the end of the day, if it'll be me or someone else. So I have found the following yarns that I've paired together for contrast. I have two aubergine. The lighting is going to be terrible because it's above me, and I'm going to pair that with sweet pea. So it's a really, really dark purple. And then I have two balls of denim, which I'm pairing with peony. And then lastly, but sadly quite similar to the denim, is two balls of mariner, which I have paired up with iced. It's a very, very, very pale blue. So the denim and the mariner are close, but I really don't think I kept much else in the way of my host yarn. I sold a lot of my cones of host yarn, and then the only other options I have are dark apple and then elderberry, which is so similar to the aubergine. So yeah, don't really know what to do with these two, so I'm going to put them back. But I've dug out a project bag and I'm just going to bung all this yarn in the project bag, and then maybe see, because I'm also now trying to decide, should I start this project today, because I have so many other crochet projects that I could be working on. Like I said earlier, I've made really good progress on my charity fundraiser blanket, but I also have, I've used some of this. Okay, I'm gonna go talk to Scott, he's just home. I am back downstairs, and like I was saying, I've got everything bagged up, but part of me has guilt around whether I should start another project. So sorry, I'm going to interject. If you move in a minute, it's because Oogie's brushing up against the tripod. So yeah, I feel like I should be working on my other projects, getting them to a point of better completion, because I've got my Lost in Time shawl, which I did pick up on Saturday. I only got 2 rows on it though, because it's getting, I want to say it's getting big, but don't get your hopes up when you see it. You'll be like, that's really not growing. So I've got my Lost in Time shawl. I've got my charity fundraiser blanket. I also have the gingerbread blanket that's still not finished. Oh, what else do I have? Because there has to be more than that. I obviously have my dragon, the sleeping dragon. I'm looking. I've got my small squares blanket, but I really don't want to put more into that right now because what I discussed earlier. I've then got the Battenberg blanket squares, which I haven't actually done any this month. Got a good amount done in February though. So yeah, I kind of feel like I need to go through my projects now and see what else I've got. But I keep finding myself putting off doing things. So the gingerbread blanket I'm putting off because I didn't do the fairy lights the way the pattern wants you to. And my friend very kindly offered to do it for me, but I haven't taken her up on it. To like make the lights that I would then applique on, which I don't mind, not applique on, stitch on. So I don't know, I might try and do that. I guess it also really depends what Scott and I are doing tonight. If we're going to get caught up on the wrestling from Friday night SmackDown, or if we're going to do the gaming that we tried to do at the weekend, but we're both just not feeling great. So it really depends. I don't have to pay 100% attention to the wrestling, but I'm really enjoying the game we're doing. We're playing Banishers. I don't know if there's more of a title to that. So yeah, I guess I'll wait to see what he wants to do when he comes down. I've also got dinner to cook. I'm so indecisive. Like, part of me really just wants to cast this on. Part of me also wants to get things finished. And I know I'm not going to get the fundraiser blanket finished anytime soon because that has at least 15 hours worth of work still in it. I can get 4 rows done in an hour. That's why I roughly know the hours. The gingerbread blanket, I feel like this stage I'm at is more pernickety than anything, and then it's joining everything and then doing the finishing rounds. The dragon, I'm at the stage where I need to find my craft wire or just not put that in. And then the Lost in Time shawl, I really do enjoy doing. I just need to pay more attention to that than anything else. And I can't do that when we're gaming. I would maybe do it if we pick the wrestling. I don't know. Part of me also just really wants something nice and simple, like a granny stripe blanket or granny square blanket or something, because I don't need to look when I do that. I just need to feel for like the hole between the clusters. I'll figure something out. Hello, checking in and signing off. I have been working on my Lost in Time shawl tonight. That was quite nice to get back out. Had it out on Saturday. I got 2 rows done on Saturday, and I think today I got 5? I got 5 rows done tonight. It does take a while to get a row done. It's got quite, like, the row is really long, but the shawl still isn't big, if that makes sense. So it's just one of those ones where it's going to be plug away at it as best I can, even if I get like 1 row done a day, because it's going to take like an hour a row or something, then that's what it's going to take. So we put the wrestling on and got caught up with Friday Night SmackDown, if anyone watches WWE. And then tomorrow Scott is gaming with his friend. I've got an online seminar that I will be joining straight after work. So probably try and have my knitting with me. Need to make sure my iPad's charged for that. So yeah, I might get a wee bit more done on that, or I will take some more of the balls of cotton upstairs with me and make more squares for the Battenberg. Not really sure. I'm trying to have something that I don't really need to pay too much attention to, and I don't think that's the Lost in Time shawl. So probably more Battenberg squares, but we'll see. But yeah, I feel like today has been a fantastic crafty day. A roundup, I got the third section of the wings for the sleeping dragon done, got them to the right size. I got my 2 squares for my coziest memories blanket done. I have picked yarn for the star patchwork cardigan, cardigan, pullover, I don't remember. And it's yarn that I will be using up from what I really wasn't going to be holding on to. So could go to someone at some point, we will see. Sorry for the sudden movement there. My hand slightly cramped up as I'm holding the holding my phone. And then, like I say, I think I got maybe 5 rows done on the Lost in Time shawl. So I feel like I've got quite a bit done today. Maybe nowhere near as much as I would have, say, 6 months ago, but sometimes you have to really listen to your body, not overdo it, and just accept the fact that things are changing. Like with my hands and stuff, I don't know if I'll ever get back to the quantity of crafting I used to be able to do. I certainly won't if they don't give me the carpal tunnel surgery, so we will see. But I'm still very happy with what I have achieved today, and I'm off all of next week, so there might be a bit of a vlog for the week, or just like let's see what I can get crafted, not a how much can I get crafted, just let's see what I can achieve. So I just wanted to come on and round up the video and sign off as well, instead of doing a sign off on the Tuesday. So thank you so much for watching, and until my next video, please do stay safe and happy crafting. Bye everyone.